But it looked like you're enjoying yourself.
Oh yes, you know. Okay. Well, my name is James Nguyen, and I'm the director of a movie called Birdemic, Shock and Terror. And I am here in Nottingham, England, and we're going to have the screening of it, premiere of it in Nottingham, England tonight. And I'm very excited, looking forward to it. Well, it's by accident. I mean, even though I was a movie fan before I became a filmmaker. That was like 12 years ago. Before that, I always liked the romantic movies, like Somewhere in Time, Christopher Reeve and Jane Seymour, and the 1968 Romeo and Juliet. But romance alone is not good enough for me. I'm not just interested in a chick flick. There's got to be some mystery, suspense, some action, some twist and turn, and I found that in Hitchcock cinema, in the genre of romantic thriller. And that's how I got into the, 12 years ago, and 3 movies since then. Here I am. I made, with Birdemic, Shock and Terror, that became a hit. And Birdemic, Shock and Terror is a romantic thriller. There is the first half of the film is romance between the lead protagonists, but there's foreshadowing, foreboding that perhaps all is not well. And halfway through the movie unfolds itself, reveal itself, and you understand why the eagles involved your attack. So it's a romantic thriller. Mr. Alfred Hitchcock, he invented the genre of romantic thrillers, but he never referred to them as romantic thrillers. Example of Hitchcock romantic thriller like Vertigo, Rear Window, even The Birds, and even his first movie in America, Rebecca, which won an Oscar. But he never formalized them romantic thrillers. I sense that, so I call them romantic thrillers, and that's all I do. All my movies are romantic thrillers. First movie I made, it was 10 years ago. It's called Julie and Jack. It's kind of like a modern day Romeo and Juliet. And the other one was Replica. It's kind of like a sci-fi, biotechnology sci-fi film. So, but they're all romantic thrillers, and so I consider though my first 2 films were kind of like my film school. I never went to film school. I went to film school of Hitchcock cinema. I think I learned how to make movies watching a Hitchcock movie, but my first 2 films was really my film school. But the third one is the one that is my breakthrough. It's, where I'm more experienced, and the movie became a hit. Yes, self-finance, because, I try to get some budget and everything, but I spent a year trying to do that, but it never worked it out. And so I said, hey, time to pick up the camera and start shooting. And that's what I did. And self-financed through my day job, and we shot most of it in the weekend, beginning January 2008, all the way to August 2008. But the whole idea concept starts in 2005. I had a 1-2 false start, and I took the time to find the right casting in 2007, and I got lucky with Whitney Moore, who plays Natalie, and Alan Ball plays Rod. And it's a good supporting cast. To me, 60% of success of the movie, the good of the movie is in the casting. If you have good casting, it may save you a movie, and that's what happened to Birdemic, Shock and Terror. I mean, despite all of its imperfection, from the animation and so on, the audience seems to like the film because they want to ignore its imperfection and just like and enjoy it because there's sincerity to the story. A very serious and compelling story about man and his machine, and what's new to species and planet Earth. And so that's why I think it became a hit. There's some good casting and some humor in the movie. Well, the whole its main inspiration is Mr. Alfred Hitchcock, 1963, The Birds. And The Bird was, to me, it's his last great film, last masterpiece, because it was so. It was made in 1962, but it was so prophetic. It was ahead of its time, because it dealt with environment issues and even global warming. And there's a scene in The Bird where the young girl asks why the bird attack. And there's a scene in a restaurant, the Thai restaurant, where the bird expert, the old woman, asks, mentioned that birds have been around for millions of years, man doing bad this, bad that to nature. So to me, it's his last great, and that last great film, Mr. Alfred Hitchcock, last great movie, masterpiece. And it was but that was the main inspiration for Birdemic, Shock and Terror. Yeah, well, we met at Sundance. I submitted to all the film festival in 2008, and it got rejected at all the film festival. And so I told myself, hey, you spent 3 years of your life trying to make this movie, at least try to get some distribution. So what I did is what you call like a cinematic football Hail Mary. By that, what I mean is I plastered my van with movie posters, some fake horror blood, some speaker out, make some egos, and just drive up and down Main Street in Sundance in Park City, Utah. And it got a lot of attention, yeah, because a lot of film distributors looks at it, and it got the policeman noticed it and pulled me over, saying, what in the world are you doing? I say, hey, they check out the blood in the van, they check out the movie star poster, they check out the speaker, and then check out my driver license. And after everything was fine, and they asked me, what are you doing? I say, hey, I'm just trying to promote my movie. And the last thing I remember what he said is, hey, good luck in your movies. And let me go. And a few days later, I got lucky and I met SEVERIN Film. We strike a deal. And here I am talking to you. Well, what I would say, there's a lot of labeling, like all of that. But what I'm saying is that after sitting at a lot of sold-out screen, from the Hollywood premiere to New York to Texas to Canada and to last week in Curzon in London, I can say that the majority really like the movie, really genuinely like the movie for its sincerity and a compelling story about man as machine, what's doing to other species and so on, and they want to ignore that it's all imperfection,
I guess no film can be really bad if it's entertaining that many people.
Sure, yeah, and what I'm saying is that I heard that one of the movie critics compared it to from the Chile TV channel, cable channel in America, comparing it to the Rocky Horror Show, the bird version of the Rocky Horror Show. Mm-hmm. So I agree with that, because the way the audience participate with the movie is like that when you're sitting in a sold-out horror show, because I've been to one. So it's like that, okay? And I think that the minority, there's some people, they're not willing to forgive its imperfection, and so they're willing to label whatever, the labeling, and so be it. That's the risk that when I make a movie, is to be judged, to be reviewed. We're working on a sequel called Birdemic, The Resurrection, and it's gonna take place in Hollywood. And I have a small office on Sunset Boulevard near the corner of Sunset and La Brea, and they call it at the Billy Wilder Square in honor of the great director Billy Wilder and that great film Sunset Boulevard. And La Brea, you know what La Brea means in English? It's a Spanish word. It means the tar pit. So that's a hint to the whole movie, So if there's a Hollywood deal, because Birdemic Shock is being considered for distribution, it's all, they contacted me, and we're Paramount, the executive of Paramount Picture in Hollywood. They actually seen with a real life audience at the silent movie theater, and they saw it again on the Paramount lot in Hollywood. So they really liked the movie, and so it's all talk right now. It's consideration, but if there's a deal, there could be $20 million sequel in 3D, or the worst scenario, SEVERIN Film might finance it, with some money, So so that's what I'm working on.
What about People of the Perverted?
That's long term, that's coming, but it's for now. I just want to stick with the franchise, where I think I feel more comfortable. I think long term, it's coming. Well, first I want to thank you for the interview, and I just want to make a final statement that Birdemic, Shock and Terror. Why did the eagles and vulture attack? Who will survive? That beyond a few good laugh and being entertained, a few good laugh and being entertained, that I hope that after the audience watch the film, that after they walk away, that beyond a few good laugh and being entertained, a few good laugh, I hope that they walk away thinking. This